example to go by, let's say at the Institute for Advanced Study, is different. There's a great unknown. The unknowns that exist in a place like Israel really have to do whether they can do such things. So the group that did the Golem did some outstandingly creative work, built upon the existence proofs that these things could be done at the University of Illinois and in the Weizac project itself in Israel. And they introduced a new level of technology that really allowed the electronics industry and and scientific investigation to go to new levels within this country itself. The other characteristic that has to be recognized is the generosity and openness of exchange of information in this field. From the very beginning of the Weizmann Institute for Advanced Study project, there was a great deal of exchange of information with other groups in the United States and abroad. And this led to a much more rapid development of scientific knowledge and technology in the computer field than could possibly have happened otherwise. And then you add to that the generosity of Weizmann, Goldstein, Bigelow, in saying, yes, you people want to go and build an institute machine in Israel. Here are our plans. Here's how we did it. Here's all of the detail to help you in this process. And we're ready anytime you have questions to ask to try and help. And Bigelow did that many times during the course of the Weizac project. Again, with the University of Illinois, having gone on to build their computer, the openness with which they made everything available once again to the group in Israel is truly remarkable. And in the University of Illinois machine, there's one kind of an important thing to recognize. They had made an enormous step ahead beyond the very first generation of computers in trying to truly understand the balance between memory systems and arithmetic units of their relative speeds and how to maximize the performance of this new generation of machines. And their experience was of great advantage to the engineers at the Weizmann Institute, who then went on to try and increase that performance further, decrease the size and heat dissipation, and increase the speed in the process. But it was that openness, that generosity, that made this whole field flower. Now, one can say that this openness was also very good for the United States because it let people become aware of what computers could do and, in fact, opened up a marketplace for the field in which the United States has dominated. That's mostly what I want to say about the key issues that have arisen in this particular field. I also want to add a few comments about the medium, for Professor Poole and for Richard Solomon and for others who work with this medium. It's an unusual one, and in fact, scientists and technologists are used to, either in the things they create, which are physical, or in the papers they write about their results, to carefully go over them and make them reliable statements of fact. Go over papers, they're sent to referees, they're sent back, and when things appear in the literature for posterity, one can have a pretty good feeling about the reliability, even though of the information. Even though with all of my students as a professor dealing with graduate students, I have to tell them to read all this kind of literature to find out what's wrong, not to be convinced that just the printed word is right. Now, here we have a different medium, and it's treacherous in the following sense, that people are asked to remember their history, as some people say, off the cuff, even though there's some thinking beforehand. There is no strong editing process that goes on except by the artists who then take from this archive of knowledge. Now, what can one say about that? One can say there is some advantage, in a sense, in terms of getting the qualitative feel of what went on at a certain time. However, when it comes to fact that is expressed candidly, one must be very careful and say, no, the level of reliability is going to be low. There's a fuzziness. This has not been treated, and retreated by the people who were closely involved. So the people who deal with this medium have to be careful, and the people who study it in the future also have to be careful. And in fact, if it isn't done right, if it isn't handled correctly, then those people, scientists or others, who record themselves in this medium will be more and more inhibited, because they won't want to, have things that are recorded forever to be treated as unreliable information, or to be expected to have been